Today we will start chapter Theories of International Trade, in which first theory is absolute cost advantage theory of international trade. Before the introduction of absolute cost advantage theory, mercantilism was the first theory of international trade exist in the world. It was an economic concept for the purpose of building a wealthy and powerful state, which believes that the wealth of nation could only be achieved through government controls and regulation of trade, commerce, and economic activity. Mercantilists viewed the economic system as a zero sum game in which a gain by one country results in a loss by other. Adam Smith and David Hume are propounded first anti-mercantilist thoughts. This practice was strongly attacked by Adam Smith in his book The Wealth of Nations. Adam Smith argued that trade should be a positive sum game or a situation in which all countries can benefit. Adam Smith propounded the theory of absolute cost advantage as the basis of foreign trade. According to this theory, an exchange of goods will take place only if each of the two countries can produce one commodity at an absolutely lower production cost than the other country. And he stated his statement of law as other things being constant, the trade between two countries would be mutually beneficial if one country could produce one commodity at an absolute advantage over the other country and the other country could in turn produce another commodity at an absolute advantage over the first country. But this theory has some assumptions in which it can be proved. First is there are two countries A and B, means international trade will exist between only two countries, not more than two countries. Second is they are producing the same commodities X and Y, means both the countries are producing only two commodities X and Y, and goods produced in the both countries X and Y are homogeneous, and there exists barter system in international trade. It means there is no monetary exchange system between the two countries. The cost of commodities were computed by the relative amounts of labor required in their respective production process. Means labor is the only one production factor in the production process. Next is supply of labor is unchanged during the period. It means labor supply is constant in the economy. Next assumption is all units of labor are assumed to be homogeneous, means same efficiency and same skill is found among the laborers in a single country. Next is laborers are mobile within a country but immobile between the countries, means laborers can move one place to another place in a country but not between the countries. Next is commodities are produced under the law of constant returns, means whatever they are producing quantities, they will produce quantities in the production process. Return of the production is constant in the production process. there is free trade between the two countries. It means there are no barriers to trade in the both the countries, like quota system, excise duty, octroi, like these barriers are not exist between the two countries. Theory assumes that there is no transport cost, and if there is transport cost is same for the import and export. That's why they are eliminated transport cost from this explanation of theory. Uh, Theory assumes free trade policy exists in the country, like commodities. There is free trade between the two countries. Next is there is full employment of the factors of production in the two countries. Means there is no labor supply available which is empty in the economy. And international market is perfect, and the exchange ratio for the two commodities is the same between the countries. And last is any trade between two countries take place if each of the two countries has an absolutely lower cost in the production of one of the commodities. And this assumption 17th is the heart of this absolute cost advantage theory of international trade. And we can explain this theory by one imaginary example in which there are two countries A and B, and they are producing X and Y commodity having absolute differences in the cost of production. The productivity of per unit of labor of X and Y commodity is represented in this table. The country A requires 1 unit of labor to produce 10 quantities of X commodity and 1 unit of labor by producing 5 quantities of Y commodity. On the contrary, in country B, 5 quantities are producing by 1 labor of unit of X commodity and 1 labor of unit producing 10 quantity of Y commodity. It means ten unit of X commodity in the country A is greater than the 5 units of X commodity in B country, as well as 10 units of Y commodity in B country are more than the 5 units of Y commodity in A country. If trade between the two countries will happen, it will benefit both the countries if A specializes in the production of X commodity and B country in the production of Y commodity, and it has been illustrated in the table here given, gains from the international trade. If a country will specialize in production of X commodity, he will produce maximum 20 quantity of X commodity from the 2 units of labor, as well as if B country specializes in the production of Y commodity, it will produce 20 quantity of Y commodity from the 2 units of labor. It means after the specialization, a country has a gains from trade 10 quantity of X commodity, but there is disadvantage in 5 quantity of Y commodity. In B country, after specialization, there is found disadvantage of 5 quantity of X commodity, but advantage of 10 quantity of Y commodity. Therefore, both the countries will be get advantage of 5 units of X and Y commodities. This can be illustrated by the diagram in which OX axis shows X commodity and OY axis Y commodity. Line YAXA and YBXP represents production possibility curve of country A and country B. The production possibility curve YAXA represents that country A can produce either OY quantity of commodity Y or OX quantity of commodity X from the single unit of labor. Similarly, country B can produce OX quantity of commodity X or OY quantity of commodity Y from one unit of labor. Similarly, the figure represents that A has an absolute advantage in the production of X commodity and country B has an absolute advantage in the production of Y commodity. And country A will specialize in the production of X commodity and country B will specialize in the production of Y commodity, and international trade will happen between both countries because of there is absolute cost advantage for both the countries in production of and specialization of production of commodities. Thank you very much.